Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Let's start 1 minute, 25 seconds. Let's start 1 minute, 25 seconds. 1 minute, 25 seconds. Welcome to Victory, yay. Welcome to my live stream. Today, the Los Angeles Lakers defeated the Houston Rockets. So this is my Lakers starting lineup. LeBron James at small forward. Anthony Davis at power forward. And then some other cards you don't see as much. They're like bench players, role players. Dwight Howard at center. Deion Waiters at shooting guard. And Quinn Cook at point guard. So I'm going to play against friends, Facebook friends. And then I'll check who came. Thank you for coming. And we're autoplay. I have Laker jerseys in Staples Center Court. My opponent has Luka Doncic and a Kawhi Leonard. So the Lakers are going to face the LA Clippers. If the LA Clippers defeat the Denver Nuggets, and they'll face them at Western Conference Finals. Battle of LA. My opponent has Golden State Warriors court, Indiana Pacers jerseys, and I have Los Angeles Lakers jerseys, the purple color jerseys. Now go on my computer to see who came, and I thank you for coming. Quinn Cook with the ball. Obvious Pete, hello, thank you for coming. How are you? And I appreciate you coming. And Matt Dodgers 101, thank you for coming. Yo, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Hello, thank you for coming. How are you? I think your channel name is now pronounced Forvav TJ or Forvav TJ. I hope I pronounced that right. A nice channel name change. As your channel name was a Coach TJ. Thank you for coming. I appreciate your support. And thank you for your comments. I'm fine. How are you? I'm good. Right now, I'm from California, so it is like 7:55 p.m. I hope you're having a great Saturday night. Forva TJ. Yeah, I hope I pronounced Forvav TJ. Where's it? Like forever. Forvav TJ. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. By the way, what state are you from? I think I asked you a long time ago, but what state are you from? I'm curious. Do I live in the U.S.? I am from U.S., United States. I am from the state of California. You should change your YT profile to another Kyrie card. I said it right. I'm happy I said it right. Yeah, I thought about changing it, but this was like a long time ago. I changed it to this. This is the Halloween Kyrie Irving card, Season 3, and I like it pretty much that I haven't changed it yet. Also, anybody that's in here in the chat room, support each other because you both make great basketball videos. Warvav TJ makes great 2K videos, and he used to make NBA Live mobile videos. And Matt Dodgers 101 makes great NBA Live mobile videos. So check each other out. Nice, you're from Ohio. That's awesome. And then that's a great state of Ohio. You must be a Cleveland Cavaliers fan, right? Mad Dodgers 101. By the way, your channel name has Dodgers in it. Normally, I would think you're from LA or someplace because the Los Angeles Dodgers are very popular in Southern California. So, how come your channel name is called Dodgers? Does it have a different meaning? My opponent has a minute ball. And he's taking a long time dribbling the ball. Taking a very long time. We get a steal. And these are the cards I have. So I do not have the full Lakers starting lineup. So we're going to have a lot of bench players, role players, Quinn Cook, Dwight Howard. Instead of the normal starting lineup. I do not have JaVale McGee, for example, or a KCP card. As a Laker legend, Magic Johnson makes the shot. Now, Dwight Howard, this card actually has Houston Rockets card art. It's from Season 3. But they changed it. If you look closely, they changed Dwight Howard's number to his number, the number now that he has now as a Laker. And I believe that number is... His normal number is number 12 when he was with the Orlando Magic. But I think now his number now is number 39, playing for the Lakers. So EA, I don't know when they changed it. I think they might have changed it this season. And thank you for coming if anybody's still here. Thank you for coming. LeBron James with the shot. Okay, so today there's a new promo out. And there's also a preview of Season 5 of NBA Live Mobile. Looks pretty good. And the new promo is the Masters of Zion Williamson. Davis, if I go in. And the other is Sabonis. So, Donatas Sabonis for the Indiana Pacers, which I like. I like that. Zion Williamson, they have a lot of cards for him. But it's nice to have a different player. So, I like to have Sabonis as the master. Now, there's like a Season 5 preview type of promo. And, it's kind of all around the world type of campaign. And so then take at least 4 weeks. It looks like 4 weeks from now we'll have Season 5 NBA Live Mobile. And then they have like different cities, New York, and then Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Well, Anthony Davis has in the paint, but he gets blocked on. Hello, CHBYT. Hello, thank you for coming. Rockets made a huge mistake trading Chris Paul and 10 draft picks for Westbrook. The Oklahoma City Thunder would have got closer. Yes, now you can definitely say that as the Houston Rockets today were lost to the LA Lakers. And it was Daryl Morey believed that Russell Westbrook could help James Harden. But Russell Westbrook, the truth is, has not played really well. His career has kind of declined. And he's a terrible three-point shooter. And then he was trying the small ball lineup, trading away Clint Capella, and the Houston Rockets right now obviously have another losing season on their hands. And then, yes, maybe the Oklahoma City Thunder would have played better against the Lakers, as that was a very tough team. They might have matched up better with the Lakers. Now, my opponent has Laker jerseys as well. He has Laker jerseys as well, and the Laker jerseys are the white Laker jerseys. Now, if you watch the Lakers closely, I'm from the LA area, so I watch them a lot. And the Lakers only wear white on Sundays. Normally for basketball teams in the NBA, they wear white for their home court jerseys, their home jerseys. But the Lakers, their home jerseys are usually the gold yellow jerseys, Laker jerseys. But they only wear white on Sundays, and I believe that's because of religious reasons. As of course, America is a Christian nation, and Sundays a lot of people go to church. Yeah, but that's how it was for a long time. The Lakers only wear white on Sundays. And then now it might be different a little bit. It might be a little bit different now, since Nike makes the jerseys now. Now they have the NBA has many different jerseys. They wear many different jerseys at home and away. Very creative. Many different jerseys. And then let's try Dwight Howard drives in with a shot. Lakers would have swept with Avery Bradley. Yes, and the Lakers are missing Avery Bradley. And Avery Bradley decided not to play in the bubble. I think for family reasons. Family issues. So, yeah. The Lakers would have been even better with Avery Bradley. Now, Avery Bradley, hopefully they don't miss him. Hopefully they don't miss him because, they're going to play the Clippers next. The Lakers are. And we'll see. Avery Bradley, great at defense. In the beginning of the season, Avery Bradley was actually officially listed as their Lakers point guard. Now it's KCP. But, of course, LeBron James, he's basically the Lakers point guard. But officially listed as a small forward, LeBron James. Which I don't know why they do that. But as Luka Doncic and Ben Simmons are tall point guards. Very tall point guards. And they start in the NBA. But LeBron James, he continues to play small forward. At least is listed at the small forward. But if you watch the Lakers, KCP or Avery Bradley usually is listed at point guard. And then when they start playing, they immediately give the ball to LeBron James. And he is the focal point of their offense. And he dribbles the ball. And he passes the ball. LeBron James does everything. So he's Lakers point guard. Yeah, and this Laker team, as LeBron James said, he was quite surprised by the Houston Rockets' speed in Game 1. As the Houston Rockets shoot a lot of threes and are running gun and short ball lineup. So they were quite surprised by the Houston Rockets' speed, and they lost Game 1. But ever since then, the Lakers have just been dominating every series, including Rajon Rondo, who's been playing real. And you see also LeBron James blocking Russell Westbrook's shot multiple times. And Alex Caruso throwing the ball up. And alley-ooping to LeBron James for the slam dunk. So this is a very deep team. Even though it's basically their first year together in the playoffs. As last season, LeBron James did not have Anthony Davis. He had Lonzo Ball and Brandon Ingram and those young stars. But now he has a veteran team, which includes Dion Waiters and J.R. Smith and Dwight Howard and Danny Green and all this. So they have all the veterans that you need, all the experience you need to win a championship. And they probably will win the championship. They're probably still the favorites to win the championship. Them or the Clippers. So I have a Kyrie Irving right here. Miami Heat jerseys my opponent has. And we have these Laker jerseys. I believe the Laker jerseys from this this season's promo. I think there was like the Laker special promo, and that's where the Laker jerseys come from. Now, Lakers have a lot to play for, of course. The Lakers, Kobe Bryant passed away in January of 2020, so they have a lot to play for. Basically, it's they're playing for Kobe Bryant, and I believe all the Laker jerseys right now on the players they have either a KB or a Kobe Bryant initial or name on their jerseys as a tribute to him. So you for sure will definitely see a tribute to Kobe Bryant if they make it to the NBA Finals to honor Kobe. Dwight Howard drives in. And you see some players they have in this game, they have an arm sleeve basically. And Dwight Howard actually has two arm sleeves that are white. So right now, live stream's doing pretty well. I'm checking on my computer. Looks pretty good. I'm very happy about that. Block shot. Dion Waiters with a ball. Choo, choo, choo with a layup shot. Dion Waiters. Then we have Dwight Howard. My opponent also has a Dwight Howard. Pretty cool. Dwight Howard versus Dwight Howard. Now, last time Anthony Davis, the brow, has special ability, and you cannot see it. He was blocked. But now, we're going to get this special ability in the paint. One-handed shot by Anthony Davis. So it's been. I'm very disappointed with the Houston Rockets, and it's very disappointing to see them lose the game. And then it's not the playoff series was not even competitive. So it's very disappointing, of course. It was not competitive enough. And that's very disappointing. Now, Houston Rockets now, what do they do with that team? I don't know. Obviously, try getting their star. Maybe try get Giannis. But they don't have enough pieces. Russell Westbrook's contract is costs a lot of money. It's seen as a bad contract now. And even James Harden seen as a bad contract, if you think about it, because we're in the Hoop Dome, Canada. It's beautiful court. Russell Westbrook's contract is not very good. James Harden, obviously, is one of the best players in the NBA. So, you're okay with that contract, but Russell Westbrook, his contract is terrible. So, but hey, maybe they're like, let's just play. It's just one season, and maybe we'll go back to normal, and then just keep Westbrook and Harden. And maybe try to add some new players, but they have the same team pretty much the same team again next year. Maybe after they leave the bubble, the NBA will start playing their own courts, their own home courts, and maybe because of that, they'll try to, maybe that'll help them win again. Maybe. Let's look at NBA Trade Machine. And Giannis in the Bucks lost, of course, in the playoffs. And that's very disappointing as well. So he's in a lot of trade rumors now. A lot of teams just want him, even though he has like a 2-year deal on his contract. So it's not necessarily that the Bucks don't have to trade him yet. And I think I'm the only one here, but thank you for coming if you are here listening, even if it's just for a little bit. Thank you for that. Russell Westbrook has a pretty bad contract because, look, he's a good player and everything, but $38 million a year Actually, $38,506,482. He makes more money. He makes a little bit more money than James Harden, the best player on the Houston Rockets by far, right? James Harden makes $199,000. So he makes more than James Harden. Now, Eric Gordon, so their deals are massive, and it's very hard to trade any of them. In fact, the fact is they found the Chris Paul trade was quite surprising. As before, nobody expected him to do that. Now, Eric Gordon's deal is quite good. He has $14 million on his deal, his 1-year deal. So they could trade Eric Gordon. They want to try to find another player to help the Rockets. Robert Covington's deal is not as much, but it's also $11 million for 4 years, which the length of the contract is not that good, but only $11 million a year is not that much. PJ Tucker has a good deal, 2 years, $8 million a year, and the other contracts are all decent. Like Ben McLemore, he has $2 million for 2 years. That's a good deal. So essentially, they have a Westbrook problem. And then now let's look at the LA Lakers roster and their contracts. Just to see, because look, there's only going to be one NBA championship winner out of these 4 teams. So there's going to be 3 teams are disappointed by the result of not winning a championship. So we'll see in the offseason what do they have to do. Now, Anthony Davis is a free agent. I believe it's a player option, but he's a free agent. And obviously, he's going to re-sign with the Lakers. And LeBron James has 3 years on his deal, $37 million. Of course, he's LeBron James, so that's a great deal. And LeBron James actually makes less than Russell Westbrook and James Harden, which is quite surprising. He actually makes $1 million less. Now, J.R. Smith has the third highest paid contract for the Lakers, was quite surprising because he was signed late in the season. And J.R. Smith makes $15,680,000. Oh, I understand why he makes that much. I think the Lakers might have traded for him. This is his Cleveland Cavaliers contract, the last year of his Cleveland Cavaliers contract. When the Cleveland Cavaliers won the championship, the general manager of the Cleveland Cavaliers and also LeBron James wanted to re-sign everybody, so they gave J.R. Smith a massive deal, and now it's finally expired, but that deal was seen as a bad contract. Now, Danny Green signed last year. That's a $14 million a year contract for 2 years. Pretty good deal. KDP has an $8 million deal. So, Alex Caruso has a $2 million deal for 2 years. The best contract in here is probably Kyle Kuzma, $1.9 million a year for 2 years, and he's only a rookie. And he's played well his 4th season in the NBA. This is his rookie deal, I believe. So Kyle Kuzma, if he's in free agency next year, and Kyle Kuzma, there's going to be teams that are going to pay him a lot of money. John Ming Lim, hi. Thank you for coming. How are you? I was reading from the NBA Trade Machine, but thank you for coming. I just saw your comment. Hi. How are you? I hope you're having a great Saturday. Oh, in your country, I think it's Sunday, right? I think it's Sunday. I hope you're having a great Sunday. In Malaysia time, I think, is 11:16 a.m. So it's a good morning to you, almost afternoon. So thank you for coming. Now, did you watch the game or seen some of the game? Lakers defeated the Houston Rockets. The Lakers are in the Western Conference Finals. Now the Lakers, it's actually their first year together. First year LeBron James is in the playoffs as a Laker. The first year Anthony Davis is a Laker and is in the playoffs. So It's the first time they've done this together, so they don't have much experience. Nor do the Clippers. The Boston Celtics, they have more experience in terms of playing together. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown have played together for a long time now. Kemba Walker, though, is his first year. I think even in the playoffs. And the other team, Miami Heat, a lot of rookies, Tyler Hero. So it'll be a first time going this in the playoffs, and it's first time going to the NBA Finals for them. Small ball lineup, yes. And looks like a small ball lineup. Daryl Morey, small ball lineup. Right now has not worked as they lost today. But they'll come back next season, and we'll see how good they are next season. I think you kind of missed this, but I was talking about Westbrook's contract. He has 38, makes 30 million for 4 years. He makes 38,506,482,000 a year. So his deal is very long, and it costs a lot of money. Russell Westbrook actually makes more money than James Harden. James Harden makes 38,199,000 a year. So Russell Westbrook, because Oklahoma City Thunder, they signed him to that deal. It's a lifetime, long-term deal. And then Daryl Morey traded Chris Paul for him, so he has that deal now. The Rockets have that deal, along with James Harden. So those are our best players, and they're still in their prime, but they're a little bit past they're getting a little bit older now, a little bit past their prime. They're 31 years old. They're still really good, especially James Harden. Westbrook, I think, is going to decline a little bit. See the score, but I didn't see the game. I also did not see a game, but it looks like Lakers won easily. And I'm quite disappointed because I wanted to have a more competitive series. Lakers won 119-96. So, Lakers defeated the Houston Rockets 119-96. So, Houston Rockets, of course. Now, nobody expected Houston Rockets to win. Everybody expected the Lakers to win. So, Houston Rockets, they're going home now. It's their off season, and we'll see what they can do with this team. Russell Westbrook, he's pretty much untradeable. And obviously, you still want to keep James Harden. So let's see how they rebuild that team. What Daryl Morey does. Now, Lakers, Clippers, they have the best. Those two teams have the best roster in the NBA. And so they're both now in the Western Conference Finals, and one of them is going to make it to the NBA Finals. So very predictable. We expected this, and we'll see what happens. Lakers versus Clippers. I honestly do not know who's going to win. I hope it's competitive. I hope it goes to 7 games. But I have a feeling it might go to 6 games or something. And I feel like maybe for some reason one of the teams, Lakers or Clippers, one of the teams might play quite well. And then they might have even like a 3-game lead. Maybe. I don't know who is that team. Maybe it's the Lakers, maybe it's the Clippers. I don't know. Mike D'Antoni loves to experiment with new play styles and lineup, but they failed. Yeah. So Mike D'Antoni, incredibly creative coach, and is ahead of his time. So he loves experimenting with different lineups. As you see with the small ball lineup with PJ Tucker being 6'5", and I love that. I love the creativity, but so far he has not been able to win a championship. No, my opponent has a new court, and it's called Fall Parade. I believe the Thanksgiving court? No. It looks like it was the wrong name. No, it's the same court. But I saw something different. I saw like a Thanksgiving court. It's the same court, Orlando court. Mike D'Antoni, Great coach though. Give him a lot of respect. Um, when he was fired as Laker coach, nobody expected him to come back to the NBA. His insanity was a slam dunk. Nobody expected him to play to come back in the NBA, and the Houston Rockets hired him. And when they hired him, there's a lot of doubters, but he's been great so far. He just cannot win a championship, but he's still a great coach. Now today at NBA Live Mobile, there's something new. There's a preview of Season 5, which is pretty awesome. And it's like around the world. Just go to New York, Philadelphia, and all that. So, pretty cool. And Season 5 looks like it's 4 weeks from now it's going to come out. I'm excited for that. I don't know when they're going to put the 2020 NBA draft players in the game. It might be coming up this season. But for sure, the LaMelo Ball and Killian Hayes and Anthony Edwards and all that, all those players, they should be in the game. They should be in the game in Season 5 of NBA Live Mobile. So, pretty cool. Look at the Phoenix Suns, 2005, 2010. Yes, very true. And Mike D'Antoni, when he coached the Phoenix Suns, Steve Nash, Amari Stoudemire, Sean Marion, they're a running gun, fast break team, and a lot of alley-oops and a lot of three-point shots as well. So that team was very exciting to watch play. But their defense was not that great, so they could not make it to the NBA Finals, unfortunately. So Steve Nash never won a championship with any team, and with the Phoenix Suns, he never won a championship, but won 2 MVPs, regular season MVPs, which is pretty good. He's a Hall of Famer, but he cannot win the championship. And he also, Steve Nash, Steve Nash could not make it to the NBA Finals. They could not even make it to the NBA Finals. So there definitely is a huge flaw in Mike D'Antoni's career. He's a Hall of Fame coach as well, but there's a huge flaw in his career. And that is he cannot win in the playoffs. He cannot win the championship. Drip Productions, yo, thank you for coming. How are you? How are you doing? Thank you for the support. Jeremy Lin with the ball. Lin Sanity. We're talking about Mike D'Antoni. Unfortunately, he could not win in the playoffs. That's very unfortunate. He's a very creative coach, though. Very intelligent coach. And we'll see what the Houston Rockets does with that roster. They're going to probably try to trade Russell Westbrook. But I said before, he costs a lot of money. He actually makes more money than James Harden. So we'll see what they do. Of course, everybody wants to trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo. But I don't think the Houston Rockets have enough players that the Milwaukee Bucks want for Giannis. Now, I was thinking about yesterday that the Golden State Warriors, they have the second pick in the 2020 NBA draft, that they could draft LaMelo Ball. They could draft LaMelo Ball and then trade him, along with other players to make the contracts match. They could trade him for Giannis Antetokounmpo. So that's also possible. LaMelo Ball to the Milwaukee Bucks. And if anybody's still here, what do you think of LaMelo Ball to Milwaukee Bucks? Then the Milwaukee Bucks probably will not having to trade Giannis, but if Giannis wants to leave, they get something for him, and that'll be LaMelo Ball. And in that case, you might even also trade Chris Middleton as well. It was a very large contract, Chris Middleton. So he's probably not very easy to trade him either. He actually makes more than Giannis right now, as he's signed a contract extension, Chris Middleton. Phoenix Suns, Steve Nash lead his team to Western Conference 3 times and failed to get in the finals. Yes, that's very true. And the Phoenix Suns could not win. Cannot win the championship. Cannot make it to the NBA Finals, but still made it to Western Conference Finals a lot. Spurs good defense since Tim Duncan arrives. Yes, the Spurs are always a very good team. Very good team. They still are a good team, but they unfortunately missed the playoffs. Missed the playoffs this year, but they're still a very competitive team. They're not going to win a championship anytime soon, but with the players that they have, but they're a very competitive team. My opponent has Lonzo Ball, and in the NBA Live Mobile today, for like Arena or something, they created 110 Lonzo Ball. So I was quite surprised by that. But Lonzo Ball, if you have that, if you're able to play Arena, I think you have to spend money. He's the first 110 card in NBA Live Mobile in this season. So Lonzo Ball is the best card in the game right now. Hello, Michael Jordan. How are you? And thank you for coming. So Michael Jordan, before I just wanted to say that the second overall pick the Golden State Warriors have, and let's say they draft LaMelo Ball and they trade LaMelo Ball to the Milwaukee Bucks for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Milwaukee Bucks, they have to, if Giannis doesn't want to be there anymore, they have to trade him for something to get something back. So essentially they'll get LaMelo Ball back. And then maybe they'll have to trade Chris Middleton as well. So unfortunately the Milwaukee Bucks will have to rebuild their team. If Giannis leaves them, they have to rebuild their team anyway. So that's kind of like the scenario that they are in. It's unfortunate. Now this happened a long time ago with the Minnesota Timberwolves. They have Kevin Love, and Kevin Love they couldn't make the playoffs, but Kevin Love played really well in Minnesota. So then they traded Kevin Love to the Cleveland Cavaliers for Andrew Wiggins. Now Andrew Wiggins, of course, has been not so good, but he was number 1 overall pick. So you traded him for Kevin Love. The Cleveland Cavaliers wanted Kevin Love to help LeBron James and Kyrie Irving win the championship, which they did, which they accomplished in like 2016. So, anyways, Andrew Wiggins, Minnesota Timberwolves rebuilt their team with Andrew Wiggins and Karl-Anthony Towns. And it didn't work either for the Minnesota Timberwolves, but they made the playoffs once. I think once they made the playoffs with Jimmy Butler. But, yeah. That's a scenario, unfortunately, that the Milwaukee Bucks are in. The other teams, like the Toronto Raptors trade for Giannis. Of course, you have to give them some young players or some draft picks back. The Toronto Raptors, I do not think have any high draft picks because they're a winning team. And the Toronto Raptors, unless you trade Pascal Siakam or something like that for Giannis, but I don't think the Toronto Raptors are going to trade Pascal Siakam. But if I'm Milwaukee, I do not want Fred VanVleet. I do not want Kyle Lowry. They're too old for me, and Fred VanVleet's too short for me. And I do not want Marc Gasol. I don't want those old players, unfortunately. So I don't think the Toronto Raptors have much to offer them. So if I'm Milwaukee Bucks, I would take Golden State's number 2 overall pick, and then I could pick LaMelo Ball, or I could pick another player. I could pick Killian Hayes, or I could pick from France, or I could pick another player in the draft, Cole Anthony or something like that, to be my next star for my franchise. It's quite unfortunate, but this is what small market teams like Milwaukee Bucks, like Utah Jazz, Denver Nuggets, unfortunately they have to do this because they're stars that they draft, that they develop. A lot of them end up leaving when they cannot win with that team, and then signing or getting traded to demanding a trade to the LA Lakers. This happened with the New Orleans Pelicans, right? Anthony Davis. They made playoffs a lot of times, but for the most part, they could not win a championship. They did not do well in the playoffs. So Anthony Davis demanded a trade to the Lakers, and he got his wish. And now they're probably going to win a championship with the Lakers. And unfortunately, the New Orleans Pelicans had to rebuild all over again. Even though they already rebuilt their team when Chris Paul left, who also demanded a trade, I believe. And he ended up with the Clippers. Now, Anthony Davis, The New Orleans Pelicans traded him, and they got back Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, young players to help them, to help Zion Williamson, who they just drafted because they got lucky with the #1 overall pick. So that's kind of life for small market teams like the New Orleans Pelicans, like the Milwaukee Bucks. That's unfortunate, but that's what happens. Remember, Denver Nuggets, who still have a chance, they're still alive. They have to play the Clippers a couple more games and see if they can win. Denver Nuggets, remember that they drafted and found Nikola Jokic, who's in the game right now. My opponent has him. Nikola Jokic drafted in the second round. They found him and they drafted him. They developed him. He was an unknown player. Nikola Jokic is a joker. And so that's how they find their stars, right? They develop them, they draft them. They do all the hard work. Now the large market teams, they end up signing or those players demand a trade, and then they get the stars like Anthony Davis. It's a little bit unfair, of course, like Kawhi Leonard, but it's those small market teams that develop. So hopefully Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray stay with the Denver Nuggets. And hopefully they're loyal to the Denver Nuggets and they play there a long time. And hopefully one day win a championship there. Oh, that's very hard to do with those small market teams. Now, Nikola Jokic, in the 2014 NBA draft, he was a second-round pick selected by Denver Nuggets. They found him. He's a hidden gem. And they drafted him with a 41 overall pick. And he became a star. And they found him. So, I'll be quite sad if Nikola Jokic one day says, I can't win with the Denver Nuggets. And then he signs with the LA Lakers or the Boston Celtics or the LA Clippers or someone like that, you know? So, that'll be quite disappointing. Nikola Jokic from Serbia, Yugoslavia. He was unknown coming to the 2014 NBA draft. The 2014 NBA draft was a hyped up draft because of Andrew Wiggins, because of Jabari Parker, two great college basketball players. You say David Robinson and Tim Duncan, this two big man team will be. Yeah, David Robinson and Tim Duncan will probably be dominating people in today's era of the NBA. As a center position, it's not that great anymore. Plus, Kawhi Leonard will be a great defensive player. Of course, definitely for sure. For sure. Yeah, the Spurs will definitely be a good team. They're always a good team. They have those old school players. They will definitely be a dominant team in the NBA. Now, let's just talk about, again, 2014 NBA draft. There were two stars. The first overall pick, Andrew Wiggins. The second overall pick, Jabari Parker. And Joel Embiid, the third overall pick. But if you look at the draft, 41st overall pick by the Denver Nuggets, Nikola Jokic. Now, Nikola Jokic right now, in 2020, Nikola Jokic is better. Way better, Andrew Wiggins. Nikola Jokic is way better, Andrew Wiggins. Nikola Jokic is way better than Jabari Parker. And Nikola Jokic and Joel Embiid, you could debate who's better. But right now, I'm saying Nikola Jokic is better than him, Joel Embiid. So, and then the other players in that draft, 4th overall, Aaron Gordon. Nikola Jokic is better than him. Dante Exum, he was injured a lot. Nikola Jokic is better than him. Marcus Smart was playing really well for Boston Celtics, but Nikola Jokic is better than him. Julius Randle on the Lakers. He played for the Lakers, and he's now a New York Knick. And Nikola Jokic is better than him. So, that's how impressive the Denver Nuggets draft pick was. Their team was. If I'm correct, I think the Denver Nuggets general manager at the time was Masai Ujiri. Masai Ujiri, right now, is the general manager of Toronto Raptors, and he traded for Kawhi Leonard, and he got Kyle Lowry and all those players. He drafted Pascal Siakam. So he's actually the one who drafted Nikola Jokic. Masai Ujiri. Who's right now Toronto Raptors. He later left Denver to become general manager of the Toronto Raptors. And he won that championship last year, as he was the one that traded for Kawhi Leonard. So, an amazing general manager, one of the best in the NBA, Masai Ujiri. Now, my opponent has Venice Beach, California. Atlanta Hawk jerseys, and I have Laker jerseys, and yes. So Nikola Jokic, a little bit about him. He's only 25 years old. He's so good right now, but he's not even in his prime yet. And he's 7 feet tall. And he's a two-time All-Star right now, 2019, 2020. In fact, in the Olympic Games, 2016, I didn't even know who he was, right? Didn't know much about him. In 2016 Olympic Games, he helped Serbia, his country, win the silver medal in the 2016 Olympics in Brazil, Rio de Janeiro. So he actually is an Olympic medal winner, and he's a silver medal winner, medalist. So that's pretty cool. I did not even know that. As I was just looking at his stats right now. Pretty cool. Nikola Jokic. Denver Nuggets, pretty young team, if you think about it. Plus, best defense, starting five. Point guard, Gary Payton. Shooting guard, Michael Jordan. Small forward, Pippen, Kawhi Leonard. Power forward, Duncan. Center, Bill Russell. Yes, a very good team. I would say the same. Starting lineup, Michael Jordan. And that would be a very good team. Gary Payton, the glove, known for his defense. And small forward, Scottie Pippen, who's a great defender. Kawhi Leonard, also a great defender if you pick him. Shooting guard, Michael Jordan, who won Defensive Player of the Year one time. Tim Duncan, Hall of Famer player. You will also add Dennis Rodman for his rebound or something like that. Also, a small forward, you might even also add Ron Artest. And then center, of course, Bill Russell, 11-time championship. Great defender as well. And you also add Dikembe Mutombo, who's great at blocking shots. That list as well in terms of defense. If you play against that team, their opponent won't even score 1 point. They'll probably score like 0 points. That's how good of a defender that team is. Also at center, I also add maybe Ben Wallace, Big Ben Wallace from the Detroit Pistons. He'll also be a great player. As I was saying, Nikola Jokic is only 25 years old. Jamal Murray from Ontario, Canada, is only 23 years old, born 1997. So they're actually a very young team. Their stars are a very young team. Now, Jamal Murray, in the 2016 NBA draft, he's a 7th overall pick. So he drafted pretty high. But I feel like he wasn't talked about enough. And he was only a freshman from Kentucky. So I guess they didn't know too much about him. But living up to the hype of the draft pick. He still hasn't made the All-Star team yet. But hopefully one day he makes the All-Star team. Yeah, so pretty young players on this Denver Nuggets team. Now, a couple days ago, they were talking about Michael Porter Jr. He wants the ball. He wants to score more. And Michael Porter Jr. is also very young. Born 1998, 22 years old. And he's a rookie right now because he missed the season last year. 2018 NBA draft, he dropped in the draft because of injury. He has a back injury. So he became the 14th overall pick, the last pick in the lottery. Last pick is the 14th pick. And he was drafted. He dropped. The Denver Nuggets were happy to select him. The LA Clippers almost drafted him. They drafted Jerome Robinson instead. The Clippers also drafted Miles Bridges, but they traded him. They traded him to the Charlotte Hornets. So the Clippers almost drafted Michael Porter Jr. Now, Michael Porter Jr., if you remember in high school, was the best high school player in the country, the top prospect, and the top college player even. But he got injured and didn't play much in college, which is why his draft stock dropped. All defensive team, Jumping Lim says, point guard Gary Payton, shooting guard Michael Jordan, small forward Kawhi Leonard, Scottie Pippen, power forward Ben Wallace, center Dikembe Mutombo, Hakeem Olajuwon. Also a great choice as well. That's also a very good defensive team. It looks like you moved Ben Wallace to power forward, as Ben Wallace is quite short. Info Spot 411. Thank you for coming. Hello. How are you doing? Thank you for your support. Hello. Donovan Mitchell's playstyle is very similar with Dwayne Wade plus his 3-point shot. Yes, I've seen that. Donovan Mitchell from Utah Jazz, his play is a lot like Dwayne Wade, and people have compared him to Dwayne Wade a lot. And I assume, in this era of basketball, he has a 3-point shot. So I hope he wins. But he's in a small market team, Utah Jazz. So Utah Jazz, a great franchise, always makes the playoffs, but can never win the championship. So hopefully one day he wins. Hopefully Donovan Mitchell and I said the small market teams, hopefully they do not sign with like the Lakers or demand a trade to the Lakers or the Miami Heat or something like that. So hopefully he stays with the Utah Jazz, the small market teams. Good, thanks for asking. And thank you for coming, InfoSport. I hope you're having a great weekend, a good Saturday night. So my today, it froze, but like my lineup is all Laker players. So it'll be a battle for LA. And if you're from LA area in LA, it's slow right now. I don't know why. Try to go back in the game. The Lakers and Clippers, it goes 7 games. I seriously do not know who to pick, who's going to win. I don't think anybody really knows. Right now, Lakers have been playing quite well, and the Clippers have been so-so, But you never know who's going to win. And essentially, the Lakers and Clippers, that's the NBA Finals, right? Right? Because the East teams, I think, are kind of weak. Boston Celtics or the Miami Heat, I think those teams are kind of weak. So I think the team that comes out of the West, either the Lakers or Clippers, are going to win the championship. Philibon Productions, hello, how are you? Thank you for coming. I really want to see the Denver Nuggets versus the LA Lakers. That'll be awesome to see the Denver Nuggets win as well. Small market teams, I always love those small market teams. Hopefully they could win, but it looks like the LA Clippers are going to eventually defeat them. But they still have a game to play, I believe. Alpha Bam Gaming, hello. Thank you for coming. How are you doing? Thank you for the support. It's 3-2 right now. It's 3-2. So, next game is really important. If I think the Clippers win, they just win the series. And Denver Nuggets win, they'll have a game 7. Steve Nash, talent-wise, is better than John Stockton. Steve Nash, talent-wise, is better than John Stockton. That's very hard to say because they're both really great Hall of Fame point guards, great players. So it's very hard to say for me because in terms of, I think even their game is kind of the same, if I'm correct. I haven't been able to see, I pretty much know, I've watched a lot of Steve Nash. But I don't really know too much about John Stockton in his game. I'm too young to watch him play live. But I think they have similar games, if I'm correct. Great assist, and Steve Nash is probably better at 3-point shots. But congratulations on 1K sub. Thank you very much, Billabong Productions. I appreciate it. And thank you for your support of my channel. Thank you very much. Now, Billabong Productions, he also makes great videos. Alpha Bam Gaming makes great videos. Jun Ming Lim makes great videos. InfoSpot 411 makes great videos. So check out each other's channels. I think most of you make videos about basketball, so check out each other's channels as well. Now hurry up, and we got back into the game, which is good. And then we're going to immediately try to play an opponent. I'm going to line up all Laker players. The Lakers won tonight. That Denver Nuggets team, though, very young team. Nikola Jokic is like 25 years old. Jamal Murray, 23 years old. Michael Porter Jr., 22 years old. So that's a very young team, very talented team. I expect them to have a really great seasons in the NBA. We're in Paris, France. Quai 54 court. And it's a beautiful court. Probably my favorite court in NBA Live Mobile. That's a Michael Jordan Jumpman sign in the pink and green colors. It's also black and on the outside, which looks really cool. Thanks for the kind words. No problem. InfoSpot 411. Top 5 point guard: Magic Johnson, Curry, John Stockton, Steve Nash. 3 and 4 is debatable. Yes, that's a great choices, and I agree with those choices about jumping limb. No, number 1 is Caruso, Alex Caruso. Alex Caruso, the GOAT, right? It's very funny. Prodigy Gaming 24. Yo, thank you for coming. How are you doing? I appreciate the support. Number 5, Gary Payton. Meme team. And yes, there's been a lot of great point guards in the NBA before. A lot of great point guards. Even today as well. And usually it's now between Magic Johnson and Stephen Curry as the best ever. There's a commercial right here. I'm going to try to log out of the game. Also, I'll add Isaiah Thomas, Detroit Pistons legend, in there. He's a great player. Jason Kidd is also another player. Chris Paul. Oscar Robinson. So some of these a little bit more old school players like Isaiah Thomas. So we're in Paris, France. Bonjour, my baguettes. And I made a video about a French player. A couple days ago, I made an NBA mix of him, and his name is Killian Hayes. Now, Killian Hayes is one of the top prospects in the 2020 NBA draft, and I believe he's going to be a top 5 pick in the draft. Killian Hayes. Point guard, Alex Caruso. Shooting guard, J.R. Smith. Yeah, very funny. Yeah, the meme team. I hear really great things about Killian Hayes, and which is why I made a mix about him. Killian Hayes. Born in 2001, only 19 years old. His father played in college basketball, and I think probably played in France. So his father is actually American, and he was born in Florida, Lakeland, Florida. He's 6'5", so he's like a guard, a shooting guard, or a point guard. And he has played for the French national team and things like that. And he's really good. This kid, Killian Hayes. Future NBA star, maybe. Brian Scalabrine, Javon Milky, small forward is Trevor Ariza. What to defeat LeBron? Trevor Ariza is like 100 years old. Yeah, Trevor Ariza, a very old player now. And Detroit Pistons fan now. Yeah, InfoSpot 411 is Detroit Pistons fan. He's from Michigan. And he makes great videos about reviewing different products from Amazon. And he also has great live streams as well. about a lot of the news happening around the world. So he has a great channel. Trilogy Media. Hi. Thank you for coming. And yes, Isaiah Thomas, I think is his favorite player. Isaiah Thomas, also one of the greatest point guards in NBA history. Where is he? Like, is he in the top 10, top 5? He should be there. Now, this court right here from another country, Philippines, tenement court. There's actual court here in the Philippines, tenement court, and this is the court. That's what it looks like. Love your video. Thank you very much, Trilogy. I appreciate your support. Thank you very much. There's one court I haven't. It was the pink color court that I still have never. I've seen other people have it, but I have never recorded that in any video. I think it's called the pigtail court or pigtail court, and it's a very beautiful court that EA has. Oh, also, I just want to say, since there are people here, Season 5, I think 4 weeks is coming out. Today I had a preview of it. And it's like different, it's like all around the world, different cities, different countries, I guess. So the first one is New York City. And the second one is Pennsylvania, Philadelphia. So I guess that's exciting, of course. Season 5 NBA Live Mobile. I guess you call it NBA Live Mobile 2021. It's going to come out soon. What I would just want to see is when LaMelo Ball, Killian Hayes, and Anthony Edwards come into the game. That's what I'm interested in. Maybe at the end of this season or maybe next season. But for sure, next season, their cards will be in the game. LaMelo Ball. There will be a LaMelo Ball card in the game. And today, for some reason, they made Alonzo Ball card for Arena. And you have to spend money for that. But Alonzo Ball is the highest overall card in this game. 110 overall, Alonzo Ball. LaMelo Ball is the older brother. First time I come to stream. Thank you for coming, Trilogy. And I appreciate it. Hope you're having a great Saturday. I'm going to come back to NBA Live Mobile in Season 5. Yes, me too. I'm going to continue. And hopefully Season 5 is really good. And I said a lot of times from my videos, I hope that they change the color of the shoes or actually give us real life shoes like Nike shoes, Adidas shoes, Michael Jordan shoes. As a lot of basketball games have that. And then or if they don't do that, change the color of the shoes. Like Kemba Walker played for the Charlotte Hornets, his blue shoes. So now he's a Boston Celtics. Change his color of shoes to green shoes. Like the one Isaiah Thomas has, Boston Celtic Isaiah Thomas has. So that's my one thing I want to see in the game. And they introduced superstar styles. I hope they have more superstar styles. And hope it's easier to get. And then they also like for them to have different hairstyles, headbands and everything. I hope they do that more in next season. Nice shot. Thank you. I'm actually auto-playing a lot. I remember that video. Professor X to play on the court. I think those are their I think you're talking about influencers. So there's a lot they could do in the game for next season. I hope they do a lot more. Now today, the new promo, they made the Master Sabonis, Domantas Sabonis, Indiana Pacer, and Zion Williamson, New Orleans Pelican. Which is, I'm happy. There's a lot of Zion cards, but I'm happy that Sabonis is one of the Masters. And then, before, the Live Pass was the only way to get Manu Ginobili. And I was like one of the few people that had a Manu Ginobili card saved from Season 3. And 84 overall, Manu Ginobili when he retired from the game. So for like 1 year, Manu Ginobili was not in 2K or NBA Live Mobile. But he came back, as you see, in NBA Live Mobile just a couple weeks ago. And then today, in the new promo, they gave a lower overall Manu Ginobili card. They create a card for him. So if you go and buy that pack or whatever, you could find you could get that Manu Ginobili card. Lower overall Manu Ginobili card. I think it's still like a 100 overall, something like that, Manu Ginobili card. But still, you get to play with Manu Ginobili for any Spurs fans out there. Nice shot, nice assist, nice dribble, nice layup, nice dribble. Thank you. Very positive comments, and thank you very much for that. Because I'm talking mostly, so I'm pretty much auto playing. I thank you for that. I'm mostly auto playing, because I don't really care about wins, Just to love that live stream is good. And my live stream this few days has been very clear. I'm looking at it right now on my computer, very clear. And it looks nice. So in the beginning of my live stream, it was not like that. Very laggy. Now, no longer as laggy. I don't know why that is, but very happy. All right, Victory, I have to go. Sorry. No problem. Thank you for coming. I appreciate your support. You have a great night. Have a great Saturday night, and have a great weekend as well. Have a great rest of your weekend. Thank you very much. Quinn Cook with the ball. Now, Quinn Cook, of course, he has hair in real life. You look at his picture, even look at his card in this game, he has hair. He's bald for some reason. In this game, looking like Chauncey Billups or David Wesley. If you remember him a long time ago, David Wesley. Bye. You too. Thank you. Thank you again. Bye. You have a good one. Nice jump. Haha, I'm kidding. No problem. Now you have the Lakers. I think my opponent has Laker jerseys, and I have Laker jerseys, and we're in Staples Center, but it's LA Clippers court. LA Clippers. Oh, just to say. Now, a lot of people I saw on Reddit, which I like to go on NBA Reddit, they say that, hey, the Clippers, right? They're playing the bubble, so it's an advantage because most people that are from LA are Laker fans. So even if the Clippers have home court, even if they share home court with the Lakers, then nobody's gonna root for the Clippers. But now they're in the bubble in Orlando, so there's no audience, there's no Laker fans or anything like that. So they have an advantage because there's no Laker fans that are cheering against them. LA's I'm from the LA area, and yes, everybody here is a Laker fan. Clipper fans historically been losing team, terrible team. In fact, if Kawhi Leonard helps the Clippers win, they'll be the first time that the Clippers ever make it to the Western Conference Finals. Mr. Logics, hi, thank you for coming. How are you doing tonight? I hope you had a great Saturday. And so his Clippers historically a bad team. They're like the little brother, step brother that nobody cares about in LA. I feel sorry for them. But there's a lot more Laker fans, so sometimes even Lakers home court. Staples Center, where they share the same arena. Pascal Siakam with a dunk. Even though they share the same court and everything, even in the Clipper home games, people sometimes do not root for the Clippers, unfortunately. In fact, a lot of people from LA, they will buy, back then at least, because the Clippers lose a lot, the tickets are cheaper, so they will buy Clipper tickets just to watch NBA games. And then sometimes they root for the other team and stuff like that. That does happen. It's actually Sunday in my country, and it's 12 p.m. in my country. Oh yeah, I forget that you're from our country, and happy Sunday, and I hope you're having a great afternoon. I forgot that you're from our country. And yeah, it's Sunday in other countries. But right now it's Saturday night in my country. 9:02 p.m. Saturday night. Yes, there's something about Saturday night on the weekends that usually most people are very happy. Saturday night, the weekends, and there's a lot of people, they will go outside and party or whatever on a Saturday night. Not as much before because everything was normal back then, but now there's a virus affecting many countries, so I don't think people do that as much. People are staying at home now. So, but anyway, Saturday night, usually a very fun night for people. Sunday is also quite fun as well, but Sunday people go to church, and a lot of religious people go to church on Sundays. And then you think I should live stream? Yeah, sure. You should try it sometimes if you want to live stream. And I use Mobizen app, Mobizen the screen recorder, and then most people use Omelet Arcade. And those are free. Omelet Arcade, like eggs, Omelet Arcade, and most people use that. And then if you download that app, you could live stream as well. And yeah, so also they're free on Google Play Store and the Apple Play Store. So yeah, you should try the live stream as well. It's quite fun. I think I've been live streaming basically every day for like a month now, almost 2 months or something like that. So back then, you get kind of nervous, but eventually you get used to it, and then yeah. Or auto play some more. My opponent has Golden State Warrior jerseys and I have Laker jerseys. Yeah, if you want to live stream, you should definitely try it. It's very fun. And I was talking about that court, and then that court is called. It's also Paris, France, and it's called the Pig Out Court. Oh, I also want to say that you can now keep your season 3 items, season 4 items, but that means the cards, and of course your NBA cash, you get to keep that. I don't know about the coins yet though. I would love to keep my coins, but I have 4 million coins. One time I had 30 million coins, but I kept buying the new cards for gameplay on YouTube. But hopefully I can keep the coins too. But I don't think that we're gonna get to keep the coins. I think we were lucky last year I was surprised last year they get to keep the coins for season 4. So hopefully we get to keep the coins, but we're gonna keep the cards. And I'm not sure if I want to keep the card. I think I might try to sell them all to get coins, but that's of course if we get to keep our coins. Now the cards, some of them I'll keep, like the Jeremy Lin card with the slam dunk animation, like the Dwayne Wade card. I'm gonna keep that. So you're gonna see Dwayne Wade again if I get to keep it. You're gonna see Dwayne Wade again in NBA Live Mobile Season 5. Regardless, Dwayne Wade's in his if EA has rights. Hopefully the card will still be in the game. So I'm gonna keep Dwayne Wade, and I'm going to also, if I have Vince Carter card, I'm gonna keep him. He just retired, so we might not get him. And I'm thinking about also maybe keeping them Lamar Odom card as well, just in case that they disappear for some reason in the game. So any player that's retired right now is going to retire. You should try to keep them because you might not see that card again. I think in season 1 of my main account, I also kept David West. Now David West, you won't see him anywhere else. So I'm very sentimental about my cards, unfortunately. Some people coin sell all their cards. I kept all my season 3 cards pretty much. I did not want to sell them, which is why I have all these season 3 cards. Scott Pollard and all those cards. I also have some Chinese players, Zhou Qi, Ding Yang Yuhang, and Yao Ming, Jeremy Lin, those cards. I have all the Jeremy Lin cards. So I'm going to keep them. There was no Jeremy Lin this season. There's no Jeremy Lin cards this season. So I'm going to keep them all. I'm going to keep those cards. Happy you get to keep your cards, especially for... I have no money spent. I don't spend money on the game, but I know some people, they spend money on the game. My opponent is 109 overall, so this is a very good team. And then he has that Manu Ginobili, of course. So I'm going to keep everything. Spaceball court. And he has Seattle Supersonic jerseys. So 34% of my phone going to play until the end. Hope everybody is well. And yeah, I kept everything. So they gave a Spaceball court for live pass, but season 3 I kept my court, so I still have a Spaceball court, so I could use that court anytime. And Ginobili, Manu Ginobili. You see that the Manu Ginobili right there with his layup shot? That's what Manu Ginobili does. That's what Manu Ginobili does, my friend. Love seeing Manu Ginobili back in the game. Very happy about that. Shot blocked. Brandon Ingram blocks the shot. Love seeing Manu Ginobili score. So a lot of players in the game that came back in, and I don't know if people are keeping track, but one of them is Manu Ginobili. The other is Lamar Odom. The other is Arvis Sabonis. The other is Derek Fisher. So a lot of players that were not in the game a long time, they came back. EA got their rights again. Anthony Davis, what a mid-range shot. See, I told you that NBA players still, some of them shoot mid-range shots. They don't only shoot 3-point shots. Now, of course, Seattle Supersonics, I have to say it. They're a team that no longer exist. So, Brandon Ingram with 3-point shot. What the? Wow, that was an amazing shot from Brandon Ingram. Dion Waiters with the ball. Makes Ginobili fall down. You don't see that much. Wow. He gave the ball. Great assist to Anthony Davis in the paint. Right to the special ability right there. Brandon Ingram with a shot. Mr. Ingram with the shot. On another dunk. A dunk from Ingram. Quinn Cook with the ball. Quinn Cook, bald hair. Quinn Cook. To LeBron Jamesy with the shot. The Brow with the ball. Is Pascal Spicy P with the ball. Gives the ball to Jason Kidd. Dribbles the ball quite weird. Gives the ball to Ginobili. Misses that shot. Ginobili from Italy. Italian. And then was born in Argentina. A lot of Italians from Argentina. Of course, that's Mr. Ginobili. 2004 Olympics won the gold medal, even over the United States team. The United States team, Allen Iverson, Tim Duncan, Stephen Marbury, coached by Larry Brown, and he won that team. Lucius Scola, right? Carlos Delfino, all those Argentina players. Walter Herman, all those old school. Cool game so far. Thank you, InfoSport 411. I appreciate it. And my opponent has the Manu Ginobili. Back then, they used to call him Manu Ginobili. Charles Barkley, if you look back then, called him Manu Ginobili, as they cannot pronounce his name. And I remember I had the NBA Live Mobile, not NBA Live Mobile, that didn't exist yet. NBA Live, the game, 2003, and the announcers pronounced his name Manu Ginobili, and they don't know who he was back then, as he didn't even play in the NBA. Just started playing the NBA. Manu Ginobili. NBA legend, Manu Ginobili. Only made the All-Star team 2 times, but he is a Hall of Famer due to his international career and also amazing in the playoffs. LeBron James with the ball. Gives the ball to Quinn Cook. And to Dion Waiters. Brandon Ingram with the ball. Amazing outlet pass to Mr. Ingram with the slam dunky. Quinn Cook with the ball. Guarded by Westbrook. To Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis, the Brown, goes in for an easy slam dunky. Now, my opponent has Anthony Davis. He gives the ball to Russell Westbrookie. Number 0, Russell Westbrookie. Gives the ball to Brandon Ingram. Waits for it. Gives the ball to Anthony Davis. Ooh, a nice mid-range shot. 123 mid-range shot. Wow, look at my opponent's boost. And then you said that they don't shoot mid-range shots in the NBA. Well, what was that? That was a mid-range shot. Quinn Cook with the ball. Another mid-range shot from the Brow. My Anthony Davis. Brandon Ingram. Doesn't really look like Brandon Ingram, but you know. Oh, I also want to say Lonzo Ball EA, if you look at the old card, Lonzo Ball, old footage, Lonzo Ball did not have any tattoos, but EA gave him tattoos. They also gave Brandon Ingram tattoos, which I think he always had for a long time. And so Lonzo Ball, if you look at his, it looks tiny players, but if you look at his arm, he has them tattoos. Now, LeVar Ball does not like Lonzo Ball to have tattoos. He watched Ball in the Family. LeVar Ball told his son, Lonzo Ball and Leandro Ball, please do not do tattoos. Not get tattoos, but they got tattoos anyways. That's how they express themselves, I heard. Now, Lonzo Ball, he's very quiet. He has a quiet personality. I would call him a San Antonio Spurs Kawhi Leonard quiet personality, that Lonzo Ball. Brandon Ingram with the ball. Gives the ball a Spicy P. Gives the ball to Brody, Russell Westbrook. Takes a long half court. Almost made that shot, Russell Westbrooky. But he misses that shot. We're in the Hoop Dome in Canada. Canada Center. $122 in the live stream. We're gonna go play some more obvious play I played against him one-on-one against his team. Check out that video. But now we're gonna go against his team again. And he has a Danilo Gallinari. Ooh, from today's promo. Mr. Italy. The Italian stallion, Danilo Gallinari. And referencing some Rocky right there. Rocky Balboa. The Italian stallion. Ooh, he has the Eye of the Storm court. He has actually got this court. And this court is amazing. Beautiful court. Markelle Fultz with the ball. Long mid-range shot. And they said the NBA don't shoot mid-range shot. What was that? Markelle Fultz with the mid-range shot. The midi. Quinn Cook with the ball. Cooking up a meal for us. Quinn Cook with the ball. LeBron Jamesy with the ball. 3-point shot. Misses that shot. And then Drexler, Clyde the Glide Drexler. Always gliding around. He can fly. Danilo Gallinari, Italian Stallion. Misses the shot. Great 3-point shooter, the Italian Stallion. And Michael D'Antoni drafted Danilo Gallinari when Mike D'Antoni came to New York City. And Michael D'Antoni, Mr. D, he is, Mike D'Antoni is Italian. So he saw Danilo Gallinari play in the Italian leagues. Then Mike D'Antoni, one of the great Italian players in Europe. And then Kobe Bryant, he's Italian. He grew up in Italy. His father, Kobe Jellybean Bryant, played for Italian teams. And so Kobe Bryant saw Mike D'Antoni growing up. He idolized Mike D'Antoni. I think he wore number 24 because he saw Mike D'Antoni play. Mike D'Antoni used to wear number 24. Dion Waiters with the ball. Nice 3-point shot. Misses that shot, unfortunately. Fultz with the rebound. Gives the ball to Drexler. Gives the ball to Gasol. Fultz with the ball. Nice defense from LeBron James. Fultz with the ball. Gives the Clyde the Glide drive. And he glides in for that slam dunk. I think there's only one person here. And thank you for coming. And thank you for your support. We're in the Eye of the Storm core. A lot of promos were named Eye of the Storm. And when the NBA stopped playing because of the virus, and it's pretty cool court, right? Pretty cool. And I have EA baseline angle, like the 2K camera angle right now. So usually it's a different angle, but now today I try something new. Try to use this angle court. Clyde goes in and glides, does what his nickname does, goes in and lays the ball in, and LeBron James with the ball. Okay, let's talk about something else though. That's my gameplays. 2018 NBA Draft. I forget why I have this here. But, oh man, great players, right? DeAndre Ayton, Luka Doncic, Trae Young. And right now, the only two players from that 2018 NBA Draft is Luka Doncic and Trae Young. As they both made the All-Star team this year. And then Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, even though he's drafted by Clippers, traded to Oklahoma City Thunder. He is quite good, isn't he? He's quite good. Now, someone asked who the greatest point guards are. I think Jerry West is shooting guard. But on this list, it's randomly picked. It's from Bleacher Report. He said Matt Johnson's number one, the greatest point guard. Number two is Stephen Curry. Number 3, Oscar Robinson, a lot like Russell Westbrook. Jerry West, number 4. You know, I think he's a shooting guard. And then Chris Paul, CP3, number 5. And then number 6, John Stockton. Number 7, Jason Kidd. Number 8, Steve Nash. Number 9, Russell Westbrook. They named Russell Westbrook. Number 10, Isaiah Thomas. In this list, I would definitely move Isaiah Thomas only number 10. That's not good enough. He won 2 championships. He's definitely higher. He should be higher up on this list. He's better. Isaiah Thomas, Detroit Pistons, better than Russell Westbrook. He's better than Steve Nash. He's better than Jason Kidd in terms of championships. And I would say he's better than John Stockton as well. He's better than Chris Paul. Jerry West, you could say he's better. He's not better than Jerry West. Oscar Robinson, you could say he's better than Isaiah. Maybe. That's debatable. So I would say Isaiah Thomas, at least top 5. Now we are in Dungeons and Dragons core. Now I'm very happy to have another core from another promo. And my opponent has those beautiful 90s retro Atlanta Hawks jerseys. You see the hawk in the jerseys. Very beautiful colors. I don't know. The 90s have very beautiful bright colors. In fact, their jersey is even more so than the 80s. You'd think the 80s has more bright colors, but it's actually the 90s in the NBA. Cool game so far. You got it. I agree. Yeah, and I don't know why that list is like that, but Bleacher Report put Isaiah Thomas number 10, but he should be much higher. I think it's definitely a top 5 point guard NBA history. Top 5 point guard. Because he's won those 2 championships. And Russell Westbrook, Steve Nash, Jason Kidd, John Stockton did not even win a championship yet. So he's definitely should be higher than those point guards. Now Isaiah Thomas, there's a player like him in the NBA right now, and then people say it's Kyrie Irving. In terms of handles, in the way he plays, way he balls. So they say that Isaiah Thomas is a lot like Kyrie Irving is a lot like Isaiah Thomas. And if you watch basketball on ESPN or ABC, Jeff Van Gundy, former New York Knicks head coach, and Mark Jackson as well, they always praise Isaiah Thomas and how amazing Isaiah Thomas was as a player. It's definitely underrated. I heard an interview once, Magic Johnson, who everyone says is the greatest point guard ever. He always says Isaiah Thomas, his friend, is also one of the top point guards in NBA histories, and I agree with him. Isaiah Thomas. Yao Ming in the post tries he has an in the paint shot. He has that legendary Yao Ming from season 3 in the paint shot. Yao Ming with a dunk. LeBron James with a shot. Now, Dungeons and Dragons court was kind of like a special theme court. It doesn't really have to do much with the NBA, but they created this court, like a Dungeons and Dragons court, which is pretty cool. Some people have this court, some people do not have this court. So, by the way, you know that EA owns Star Wars, and recently they made they also own Sims, right? So they recently for the Sims they created a special pack for Star Wars, and I would love for EA to make a special Star Wars theme promo or game with NBA Live Mobile, because they have the rights to Star Wars. Now EA has in the past made like a Spaceball court and things like that, but they did not. They still haven't just Star Wars court, and they have the rights to Star Wars the movie. EA makes the video games for Star Wars. So they could put Star Wars in. They already put him in The Sims, but they could put him in Madden. They could put him in NBA Live Mobile. They could put him in FIFA. They also create that game, FIFA football game. LeBron James with the ball, number 23. My opponent is a fan of the Houston Rockets and has those white, beautiful Houston Rockets jerseys. You have Laker jerseys, and this is another court. I think it's called the Outdoor Court. It's free court from last promo. Very nice. Looks like very 80s colors, like Miami Vice colors. Pretty cool court. And yes, Isaiah Thomas did not do well as a head coach in the NBA. And he did not do well as a general manager. But I think Isaiah coached the Indiana Pacers a little bit. Yeah, but in terms of that, as a player, he was amazing. Maybe coaching general manager, not so great, but I love hearing Isaiah Thomas talk as well. Very intelligent guy. One time he was talking to Lonzo Ball when he was trying to make it to the NBA, and he said Lonzo Ball, he's like the Picasso of point guards. And just hearing him talk, he's a very intelligent person, very intelligent guy. Saying these like artist names, Picasso. Basketball players don't even know who Picasso is probably, but he's a very intelligent guy. Now Isaiah Thomas also. They say that when he was playing, he looks like a church boy. He's very innocent looking. But then, of course, he's part of the bad boys, and they're kind of dirty players. But they're very tough players, of course. A lot of respect to the bad boys of the Pistons. Very fun to watch back then. Now, because back then there wasn't many computers back then. Early computers, and there was really no internet back then, or early stages of the internet were starting to begin. So, but if you think about it, Isaiah Thomas today, he would trend on Twitter a lot. The bad boys would trend on Twitter a lot. Michael Jordan would trend on Twitter. They would be constantly talked about on social media and Facebook and YouTube and Instagram. So those players, they did not grow up with the internet we have today, the social media we have today. So if you think about it, they would definitely be talked about. They'll be so popular. We'll hear so much about them, as we hear a little bit too much about players today. So right now, 1 hour, 34 minutes, but we're going to play until the end. We're going to play today. I thank you for your support in Football 411. My opponent has neon green Minnesota Timberwolves jersey. Oh, it's from last time. So I have neon green Minnesota Timberwolves jerseys from last time. And then my opponent has Oklahoma City Thunder jerseys. So last time I had a lineup Minnesota Timberwolves jerseys, and it was rare cards, rare season 3 cards. So it's from continuing that matchup. But we have the same Laker. We have this time new Laker players. We made Chris Paul fall. Devin Booker with a shot. So yeah, definitely. You know, yes, the Bulls and MJ caught up with the bad boys by year 3. And yes, they did eventually catch up, and Michael Jordan was able to defeat the Detroit Pistons. But to be fair to the Detroit Pistons, I believe that there was a lot of injuries to the Detroit Pistons. There was a lot of injuries, which is why they declined. I think Isaiah has a lot of injuries. Lambeer has a lot of injuries. And also, I think they traded Rick Mahorn to their first. Oh yeah, Rick Mahorn. I think there was the expansion draft, and I think it was the Minnesota Timberwolves or just came to the NBA, and they left him. Expansion drafts, every team has to leave a certain player open, and I assume they leave usually the 1-year player deals open. So Rick Mahorn, almost a free agent, he left open, and then the Minnesota Timberwolves drafted him in the expansion draft, and he was very angry as they just won a championship. So I think that affected the team, and then later Rick Mahorn did not even stay with the Minnesota Timberwolves. A new new team. So he signed with the Philadelphia 76ers, I believe. And so there was a lot of kind of a hatred right there between the Pistons and a rivalry between the Pistons and Sixers. And Sixers had Charles Barkley. So I remember watching that documentary or that story. So I have 14% on my phone, and I'm going to continue into the end. Dion Waiters with the ball. 3-point shot. Dion Waiters, when he first came to the NBA, was actually a lottery pick, drafted by Cleveland Cavaliers. And we hear a lot of how confident he is in his game. They say he's one of the best players in the NBA. He's a very overconfident player. Dion Waiters. He's had a lot of problems, personal problems in the NBA. I think that's true. It's been so many years ago. Yes. Yeah, that story I heard in their documentary. I've seen it before. And it's kind of strange to think of Minnesota Timberwolves are just coming into the NBA. But yeah, there were a lot of expansion teams back then. And later in the 90s, like 1995, the Toronto Raptors and the Vancouver Grizzlies also come to the NBA. And the first time Canada has an NBA team, they have two NBA teams. And they come to the NBA in 1995. And Vancouver Grizzlies, they draft Brian Reeves. Big Country, I think was his nickname. He's like a white player. Looks like a farmer. And he was playing center, but he looked undersized, like a power forward. And I sometimes see highlights of him, and I'm like, wow, that's really cool to see a player like that. I think he's a little bit like Kevin Love. And people say Brian Reeves, if you remember him, Shaquille O'Neal said he had problems with him. And Brian Reeves, for some reason, could score against him. He cannot guard Brian Reeves. Or he always had problems with Brian Reeves could guard him, and he always had bad games against Brian Reeves. And people now today laugh at him. As Brian Reeves, he played in the NBA for a little bit, and then was out of the NBA. He had weight problems. And now the Toronto Raptors drafted a very short player, 5'11", Damian Stoudemire, who wins Rookie of the Year that year as well. Damian Stoudemire, Toronto Raptors' first draft pick, and Brian Reeves, the Vancouver Grizzlies' first draft pick. Oh yeah, ESPN did a 30 for 30 show about the Bad Boys Pistons a few years ago. Yeah, I think that's the documentary I watched. Because Rick Mahorn was very angry that the Detroit Pistons did not keep him. I believe they just won their second championship. And they allowed him to get selected by. Also, Rick Mahorn in that documentary, he says that he was there playing the NBA before Bill Laimbeer. And so he mentored Bill Laimbeer. And he taught him kind of like that bad boy attitude and mentality, kind of the dirty plays and stuff like that. And then Rick Mahorn later, because he got mad that he was selected by the Minnesota Timberwolves and then ended up signing with the Sixers. So when the Sixers played the Pistons, it was very heated. And Rick Mahorn was going up against Rick Mahorn is like the teacher. Rick Mahorn is like the teacher, and Bill Laimbeer was the student, and they were going up against each other as they were like a power forward center, and so like they had like a fight. But later they would forgive each other and stuff like that, just for heated on the basketball court, and they would both become assistant coaches in the WNBA. Where Rick Mahorn will be the Detroit Shock's assistant coach for Bill Laimbeer. And Bill Laimbeer, of course, was the head coach of the Detroit Shock and won multiple championships for the Detroit Shock. The Detroit Shock no longer exists of the WNBA. I think they moved to Las Vegas, and then I think they moved again. So a lot of WNBA teams, they move a lot because there's not enough money being made. And it was kind of sad, but a lot of WNBA teams fold and or either move away. Even if they won championships. I think Bill Laimbeer right now is the coach of the. Yeah, I think he's the coach of the Las Vegas team. Well, I don't know if that's the same Las Vegas. I think it's a different Las Vegas team. But first, he was also the coach of New York Liberty. And Isaiah Thomas, I think, hired him. I saw a few Detroit Shock games in the mid 2000s. Yeah, and the Detroit Shock back then, there were very good teams. And they played in the Palace of Auburn Hills. That's the most WNBA teams, they're like the sister teams. Yeah, and they moved away though. Even though they won 3 championships. And Bill Laimbeer won those championships for them. They moved to Tulsa Shock. So the Detroit Shock moved to Tulsa in 2010. And Tulsa, Oklahoma. But then moved again. And now they moved to Dallas. And now they're calling it Dallas Wings. Which sounds like a hockey team. Like an NHL hockey team. But yeah. Unfortunately, WNBA, they move a lot. Because they can't make enough money. And a lot of their teams get defunct. And very disappointing. Trying to get into a game. It's kind of frozen now. This opponent, he has a shooting guard is Tim Hardaway Jr. And his father is Tim Hardaway. I got locked out of the game. I'm going to try to go back into the game, though. Thank you for your support. Yeah, Detroit Shock, LA Sparks. There are very good teams. I forget the players on the teams, but look it up a little bit. Cheryl Ford. Deanna Nolan. Katie Smith. Yes, Katie Smith. Great player. I think one of them is Karl Malone's daughter as well. But Katie Smith, she would later become Bill Laimbeer's assistant coach. A great women's basketball player. And has won, I think, multiple gold medals as well. Won 3 gold medals. Played in the 2000 Sydney Olympics, 2004 Greece Olympics, Athens, and 2008 Beijing Olympics. Won 3 gold medals. By the way, the women's basketball team, just like the soccer team, incredible teams in the Olympics, won multiple gold medals. Women's basketball. Even though they don't get enough attention, media attention and stuff like that. There's guys to watch sports more. But yeah, and in 2018, 2019, she also became the New York Liberty coach. After the head coach, after Bill Laimbeer leaves to coach another team. But right now, I think she got fired as coach now. She's a Minnesota Lynx assistant coach. Katie Smith, 5'11". I think there's 5% on my phone, but I'm trying to play the rest of the games. Hello, rebounder. Yo, what's up? Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. I like Swim Cash auto card. I'll show it to you next live this morning, Wednesday or Thursday night. I'll definitely check it out. Definitely check it out. Yeah, I forgot about Swim Cash. She was also a great WNBA player. Now, the main game, NBA Live, they actually have WNBA players. And they haven't really introduced that many in this game. There's like one WNBA player and one influencer who's like a famous person that never played in WNBA, but they're in this game, 2 girl cards. But yeah, Kate, definitely remember that name, Swim Cash. Of course, a lot of great WNBA players. Candace Parker, Lisa Leslie. A lot of great players in WNBA. Unfortunately, they do not show WNBA games enough on TV, in my opinion. They have it on cable, but I don't have cable, but they do not show them enough, in my opinion. So I rarely get to see them play, but when I do, I love watching them play. We're going to go Showdown now. 5 minutes left on my phone. No problem. No problem, rebounder. Now, I have 5 minutes left on my phone before I leave, but thank you for coming, and I'm gonna answer your question. Who's the best bald NBA player in NBA history, not including MJ and Kobe? Who is the best bald WNBA player? I mean NBA player. There's a lot of bald players. A lot of bald players. So I'll say LeBron James has hair, so I'll say Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade, he's bald, right? I like Lisa. I think she played on WNBA LA Time. Yes. Lisa Leslie played for LA Sparks. And she also won multiple championships. She was their center. And Lisa Leslie, one time in high school, scored 101 points in high school. 101 points. Like Wilt Chamberlain. Even more than Wilt Chamberlain. One point more. It just sounds amazing. But if you know a little about Lisa Leslie. Now, I love watching WNBA, their height. The reason because they're like more normal. NBA players, the guys are like giants. But like WNBA, that's more normal height people. So Lisa Leslie is 6'7", and she's a center in the WNBA. She's taller than Kobe, like 1 inch, 6'7", so she's a center in WNBA. In the NBA, she would be like a small forward shooting guard, but in WNBA, she's a center. And then like the point guards in the WNBA are like 5'9" usually. So Diana Taurasi, Sue Bird, they're usually around like 5'9", 5'10", which is the more normal height, like just like normal guys playing basketball, like a pickup game. That would be that height. Most people are not 6'7". It's rare you'll find someone that's 6'6", 6'7". Yeah, LA Sparks, yeah. And the LA Sparks still exist. Unfortunately, Detroit Shock do not exist anymore. By the way, there's this girl, I think she's in the center, that's playing playing the WNBA, Liz Cambridge from Australia, and she's a great player, and she could dunk. And Kenneth Parker, who played for University of Tennessee, a great dunker, great at slam dunking the basket. And it's rare to see WNBA players dunk, but when you see them dunk, sometimes not the All-Star game, that's very fun to see, very exciting to see them dunk. The ladies dunk. Would you rather have one role player from the NBA or 3 role players from the WNBA? Lisa was on that TV show Wife Swap. And yes, I remember that show, ABC Wife Swap. Lisa Leslie, she's very intelligent and very fun personality. 3 WNBA. I'll take the 3 WNBA players for this respecting the women's sport. I'll take the 3 WNBA players, the over 1 NBA player. Okay, so my live stream has ended. Thank you very much for coming.